This is Gerardo Del Real with Resource Stock Digest. Joining me today is the CEO of Leading Edge Materials, Mr. Filip Kozlowski. Filip, how are you this morning?
Hi, Gerardo. Good morning. I'm very good. It's been a few sunny weeks here in Sweden, and we've had some excellent progress in terms of the company and the things that we have released recently. So, yeah, very happy mood at the moment.
Let's get right into it. You're being a bit modest. The company has a market cap right now just over 37 million Canadian, and you just announced the PEA results for the Norra Kärr rare earth project. The company now has two critical metals assets with combined NPVs well over $1 billion, which of course is impressive. And even more impressive to me is the fact that the PEA that you just delivered, and we'll get into the details, is a lot more environmentally friendly than what was envisioned in the past. So let me read the headline, and then I would love for you to give us the details. The headline reads, Leading Edge Materials announces positive PEA results for its Norra Kärr rare earth project with $1.026 billion pre-tax NPV of 10% and a 30.8 pre-tax IRR. I would love for you to first talk about the numbers around the PEA, the mine life, the net present value, and then let's get into what's pretty significant to me is just how you minimized the environmental footprint of the project, which we know is important as we move forward, right?
Yeah. And so, so you mentioned the 1 billion here, and the Voxna graphite project is 317 million MPV pre-tax. So together 1.3 billion.
Correct.
So I think, when we set out to do this PEA, there were two main objectives that we wanted to achieve. One was to completely redesign the project, and the main objective by doing that was to reduce the footprint at site. We've achieved that stellarly. If you look at some of the images that we started publishing, in the press release and on our website, it's clear how the magnitude of reduction of our impact. And then that's just the physical footprint that's changed. And when you think of the fact that we removed the wet tailings, so the tailings dam that really has been the biggest concern in the past about the project, it's a completely different project. And the reason why we've been able to achieve that is we've looked at the resource utilization of the project, and we've seen it doesn't really make sense to only extract less than 1% of the material that you mine. It's a deposit that contains zirconium, hafnium, niobium, and nepheline cyanide, which is a fantastic industrial mineral. Why not look at valorizing those and start selling them? Not treating them as waste, rather treating them as a product. And all of this together has resulted in this dramatically reduced footprint. We're moving the chemical processing off-site. So in the past, we were looking to ship in sulfuric acid to the site and process things there, and that would generate the chemical tailings that would go to the tailings dam. Now we're looking to send the concentrate. So the concentrate that carries all the rare earth elements to an off-site facility. In the PEA, we've used the location in northern Sweden. It could be somewhere else in Sweden or in a neighboring country, but that's where all the chemical leaching and the extraction, the recovery of the rare earth elements will happen. So all in all, significantly reduced amount of waste and reduced footprint at site. The other thing, coming from a financial background, which is, quite close to me, is by adding more products, we're also increasing the revenue potential of the project. So this is PEA stage of a report. So we've been very conservative in terms of what value we assign to those co-products, being the nepheline cyanide, the zirconium oxide, the niobium oxide. But there's clear potential there. And what's important about that is not only does it reduce the cost of actually extracting the rare earth elements, making us more cost competitive with the current Chinese supply, but it also makes a more resilient project, because a large criticism against any emerging projects outside of China is that you're going to be dependent on whatever China does with rare earth pricing, whether they manipulate it or whether it's through their control of the market. They can put any rare earth project out of the market by lowering prices for rare earth. However, if you have other products, you're not as dependent on that revenue to continue operation. So I think that's a very important point as well that we've achieved.
Agreed. We know that the EU is laser focused on establishing an independent critical metal supply chain. There's very few options on the rare earth side in Europe, Philip. And, I got to believe that the life of mine being at least 26 years, right? You mentioned being conservative. I think that is conservative, but at least 26 years, that's got to bode well for future discussions about, how Norra Kärr plays into helping contribute to a critical metal supply chain in Europe that's independent.
No, absolutely. And Norra Kärr is the only project of its kind in Europe, in the European Union. And clearly there's many eyes looking at it and seeing our plans going forward, where seeing there's a path forward for how this can be a feasible and sustainable project, both from the sustainability side, but also from the economic side. And, we're very much looking forward to present this new plan for the project to those kind of forums like European Raw Materials Alliance. And you mentioned it's a 26-year life of mine, as we've based the economic model for the PA, but we provided an unconstrained resource as well, which is about 100 million ton with the appropriate disclosures that you can see in the PR. So it's a great deposit, and it could tip the balance overnight when in production for Europe to become more self-reliant. And it's neodymium, it's praseodymium, but more importantly, the unique aspect of Norra Kärr, and I have to highlight that every time, it's the dysprosium and the terbium being the really critical rare earth elements, where even China is relying on imports from Myanmar to get their heavy rare earth concentrates, where you've recently had supply chain disruptions. You've seen prices going up again over the last few weeks. So that makes us a very unique project in many aspects.
A lot of opportunity. I mentioned the market cap. I'll highlight it again. It's just over 37 million Canadian. Philip, it's clearly been a busy, I know several years, but definitely a busy 2021 for you. What can we expect here moving forward?
So I think we've come to a point where, I became the CEO roughly 12 months ago, and we now provided a platform really for how to move the project forward. So the new board of directors with Lars-Erik Johansson, Eric Kraft, and Daniel Major, and myself, it's been all about demonstrating the value of our project and showing what the plan is forward. So I think we've done a very good job in showing what the value and potential and opportunity are in the project. And it's now all about how do we move that forward. And it's in the middle of the summer. I'm supposed to be on holiday for this week. I'm not, but coming towards August, September, we'll start outlining the plans that we have for how to use these results to start moving the project forward again. So that we're looking at a very busy autumn for the company. And don't forget, we have the Romania project as well, where we've been waiting a long time for the exclusive exploration license. And hopefully that is something that will materialize as well in the future.
Excellent work, Philip. I'll let you get back to it. Thank you again for your time in the update. And I get the sense that we'll likely be talking about Romania here soon.
Excellent, Jarl. Thank you very much. Take care.
Thank you, Philip.